The Washington football team defeats my Dallas Cowboys by a score of 25-3. Both teams with a 2-5 record now. This is the NFC least. But as far as my thoughts on this game, Cowboys fans have had a lot of fun talking about this Washington team without a name, the Washington football team. And I'll say this, at least one team on that field looked like a football team, and it wasn't the Dallas Cowboys. At least Washington looks like a football team here in Week 7 in the 2020 NFL season. The Cowboys, it's all bad. I'll start with that. This is 100% on Jerry Jones. A lot of Cowboys fans are blaming McCarthy, blaming Nolan, blame the players, blame the snitches, blame everybody. Let me ask you a question, Cowboys fans. Let me ask you, Washington fans, if you're watching. Who is playing well for the Dallas Cowboys? Who can't you blame? There's not a long list. There's not even a short list at this point. It has hit a new low. I haven't seen the Cowboys look this bad since 1989, for sure. You can say 2015, but that team was somewhat competitive. It showed some spirit. This team's got none of it. Some fans are talking about drafting in the top 5 and who are we going to get in the top 5. Others are blaming coaches, players, like I said, all over the place. But I'm going to keep my blame right where it needs to be, right at Jerry Jones. It's got to be, because look at this. Just look at this McCarthy hire. You can't blame McCarthy. Garrett was the lightning rod for this Cowboys team over the past decade. And then he needs a new lightning rod. Jerry needs a new lightning rod. So, hey, sleep over at Jerry's house. Come on, Mike McCarthy. You look like the perfect candidate for the next lightning rod. Because heaven forbid that Jerry Jones ever catches any lightning or any blame for this debacle in 2020. He knew what he was doing. Jerry knew what he was doing. He was duping the fans. Redskins, man. Let me take a look at my phone, but I can tell you this. It doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take a football savant to realize that the Washington football team played a very clean game, turnover-free on offense, and they looked confident. They had a lot of time to throw in the pocket. Kyle Allen was 15 of 25, 194 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 111.1 rating. Kyle Allen looks like a great quarterback playing against this Cowboys defense. But then again, who doesn't look good against this Cowboys defense? That's just the way it is. It's more of the same. Antonio Gibson, he looked like a stud. 128 yards on the ground for Gibson. He had the best game of the year, if not his career, right? 6.5 yards rushing average, has a touchdown, a big 40-yard gain. I mean, it's just things that we see week after week after week. And yeah, if you're a Cowboys fan and you're blaming the receivers, or you're blaming the DBs, or you blame the D-line, there's enough room for blame to go around. There's nobody that I'm proud of on this team. There's not one single player on this Cowboys team that I'm proud to say, hey, man, they're doing their thing. 100% effort, Nobody. That was all lost when I think the Cowboys lost Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he's making some money, man. He's making some money. But give props to Washington. Look, those players on Washington, Kyle Allen, Antonio Gibson, they are not great by any stretch of the imagination. But our Cowboys defense makes them look pretty damn good. Now they got just as good a shot as any to win in the NFC East. It was just a bad game all around for the Cowboys. One-on-one matchups, they were lost 90% of the time in this game. I would venture to say somewhere around there, Logan Thomas was abusing Anthony Brown, They were abusing Stephon Diggs out there at corner. The Washington football team, Ron Rivera, give the coaching staff credit. They knew who they had to abuse, and they abused them. And the easiest players to abuse on this Cowboys team is that offensive line. Look, Dalton does not look confident. Dalton, left the game by I think he had a concussion from that hit by Bostic, which was a dirty hit. So Washington football team fans, that was a dirty hit. You owe Andy Dalton an apology. But he didn't look good at all. But he doesn't look confident. And I can't blame the guy. Look at that offensive line. Who would look good behind that offensive line? Apparently, Dak is a godsend because I don't see how anybody could play behind this offensive line the way they're playing. Straight turnstiles at tackles. Terrence Steele is garbage. Nobody's that playing that well. You're not going to get a lot of analysis here because how much can you analyze crap? And that's what the Dallas Cowboys are fielding in Week 7. It's crap. The offensive line is crap. The defensive line is crap. The wide receivers, now that there is no blocking and they don't have that rapport with Dalton or Ben DiNucci like they did with Dak, there's no way to get those big plays because at least with Dak, he had the confidence, even with the compromised O-line, to make those plays. And that's just not there anymore. And now you see. That's why this team is struggling to score. We scored 10 points last week without Dak, and now 3 points this week without Dak. It ain't getting better anytime soon, Cowboys fans. I think let me mark the date now. This is the date I'm saying the Cowboys have no shot. They're not going to win this NFC East. They're not going to get it together. You see Mike McCarthy out there on the sidelines. If it wasn't for his mask, man, you would see how angry he is. You can see the anger now. The anger's going to start coming out. That was the problem with him in Green Bay. They were saying he talked to people like they were stupid. He talked to people that he felt intimidated by, people that he disagreed with. And you're starting to see that with the whole snitches thing in Dallas. I don't know, this thing's getting bad. I don't know how they can keep this thing on the track, but I am very anxious to see what Jerry Jones has to say on his weekly radio show. He's all I really want to hear from, because you're going to get the same shit from the players. Oh, we need to get better. We need to regroup. You're going to hear the same thing from the coaching staff. Oh, we got to make a few tweaks. Okay, we had the best week of practice. We got to get it together, play on the same. We've heard it all over and over and over again. I want to know, since the buck stops with Jerry Jones, what are you going to say, Jerry Jones? What are you going to do, Jerry Jones? I want to know. As a Cowboys fan, I understand. There's not much you can do mid-season as far as changes go. But, Jerry, what are you thinking? Where does the buck stop? What needs to change? Let us know, because I'm here telling you right now, I don't care how much film you watch. I don't care how many times you rewatch the game. You are going to see porous play across the board for the Dallas Cowboys. So, Jerry Jones, what are we going to do about that? So, props to the Washington football team. At least you guys are a football team. I can't say that for my Dallas Cowboys. They are not a football team. They look nothing like a decent football team in 2020. It has hit an all-time low, I'd venture to say, since 1989, like I said. And that's even arguable if they look that bad in 89, I didn't watch every single game like I do. I think I've caught every single game since 94. So, I going far that back, I don't remember the Cowboys ever looking this bad. It's all bad, Cowboys fans. I wish I had better news. I wish I had a better video. I wish I had more energy. I wish I had a more positive outlook. But after this game, there's nothing good to talk about. So, congratulations, Washington football team. You get the win. And who knows? Now you guys are ready to take control of the NFC East this year. We'll see. That's going to be fun just to see who comes out of this division and what they do. Even the Cowboys technically aren't out of it, but, right now they got the weakest pulse in this division, and that's just a sad, sad statement for me as a Cowboys fan. Peace out, everybody.